watch a video. It was optional, obviously. So if you can put in the chat if you watch the video or not, then we can do our next activity. Oh, okay. No, you're good. Okay, well, that's fine. It was optional, so it's just a crash course video. So on whatever we're doing today, just to give you an overview. So yeah. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so our entry ticket today. If you were here last time, what is something you learned from last time? Just put it in the chat. So we're answering the first question. If you were here last time. Okay, what is something you guys hope to learn today? Oh, okay. No, I know it's your, oh, okay. It's okay, it's fine. I know you're new, so you just go back and watch the first video if you want. And today's gonna be on chemical engineering, so it's exciting. All right, so today's agenda. So today's lesson is gonna be on chemical engineering and what it is, what's the field, what coursework is gonna be there, what the personality looks like, and the future of it. So last time we went over introduction to engineering, so like what it is, different fields, and we said we were going to do five lessons on 5 different fields, and the first one's going to be chemical engineering. So this is what we're doing today. Oh, not work. All right, so chemical engineering is the branch of engineering that involves designing, constructing, and operating machines and plants that perform chemical reactions. So something that a chemical engineer would do was take a discovery that a scientist made and try to create real life applications and to make it useful for everyone to use. It's not the same as chemistry because chemists tend to explore the elements in different compounds that are discovered, but chemical engineers actually create something useful out of them. So that's one thing to keep in mind. They're very different. All right, so a chemical engineer has to use physics, chemistry, and math to apply in the field of chemical engineering and to develop products that are useful. And they're also called universal engineers because they have mastery of physics and chemistry and a lot of the scientist fields as well as hands-on skills. And by the way, if you have any questions about anything, you could just put it in the chat whenever you want. You don't have to wait or anything. So yeah. All right, so this is a video about chemical and biomolecular engineering, which are 2 different fields. I'm just gonna play it for you guys. It's a quick, like 3-minute video, I think. All right. Are you able to hear that? Oh.
Chemical engineers, we want to turn raw materials into energy and products. So we use physics, we use math tools, we use biology, we use chemistry, all those tricks of the trade from the sciences we apply to engineering.
Mainly the field of particularly chemical and biomolecular engineering means that we get to work from a number of different applications that we're trying to find new types of solutions to a number of different problems. So if you think about materials, processes, that's things that chemical engineers work on.
Probably traditionally when people hear chemical engineering, they maybe think chemical engineers are probably in the oil and gas and petrochemical. But chemical engineering is really cutting edge in a lot of other fields. So we're developing nanomaterials. We're developing materials and technologies for medicine. And we're also doing a lot of fundamental scientific work that can impact almost any field.
Okay, so that was a fun little video saying what chemical engineers are, really what they do in a lab setting, and especially in a university setting, they do different things rather than like chemical companies. So chemical engineers are not restricted to petroleum or oil or anything like that. They can also be in the lab, working with researchers and like working to develop new products. Whoa. Okay. All right. So some things that you would do as a chemical. Oh, we had someone join, I think. But some of the work that chemical engineers do are making gases, not making useful gases, drugs and cosmetics, and controlling the process of producing these things. So for example, if there's like this new element that a chemist or some scientist discovered, the chemical engineers find some sort of water properties in there that make it a good skin treatment. So they could create a cosmetic or a lotion out of that and market it to the public. Some other things that they can do in less like people aspects and more energy aspects is developing nuclear energy water treatments and converting crude oil to petroleum. So really finding those sustainable ways of developing these things is what chemical engineers do. Oh. Okay, so some related fields that you could be in chemical engineering, because obviously these fields are very broad, but there are detailed fields in that. Not detailed fields, but like related fields. So some of them are bioengineerings, types of bioengineerings in the first 5, chemical technology, fluid dynamics, electrochemical engineering, environmental engineering, pharmaceutical engineering, so like developing like pharmacy, like developing tablets and stuff. Paper engineering, safety engineering, and textile engineering. These are just some things that are interconnected and these things that you can do with a chemical engineering degree. So obviously to become a chemical engineer, you have to first have a bachelor's degree at the minimum, and then you could get a master's, PhD, etc., etc. And so a typical chemical engineering coursework will involve classes in fluid mechanics and chemical thermodynamics, process and control dynamics, equipment and reactor design and unit operation, and engineering, mathematical analysis, material and energy balances, and plant economics, and heat and mass transfer. So really, as you can see, chemical engineers like not only learn about different physics, chemistry, and math concepts, they also learn how to manage facilities, manage reactor designs, create fluid mechanical models, and analyze structures and analyze chemical compounds, stuff like that. So the typical skill of a chemical engineer is that he or she is proficient in math, engineering, and computer science and computer technology. He or she is economically smart because obviously with testing drugs and stuff, it costs a lot of money, and we're trying to conserve money and save money, and is safety conscious because a lot of these chemical compounds may be dangerous, and a chemical engineer needs to know what's safe and what's dangerous and how to optimize the use of a safe chemical. And as typical skills are, they have to include creative and analytical skills, interpersonal skills like collaboration, problem solving skills, and organization skills. Right. And the future of chemical engineering. So unfortunately, actually not unfortunately, but like this is one of the engineering fields that is pretty slow with growing, with the exception of biomedical engineering and chemical engineering, which is 23% growth. But chemical engineering will have a 2% growth between 2014 and 2024. The average starting salary is also really high. It's $68,210. And there are 8,344 bachelor's degrees awarded. And that constitutes 10% of all engineering degrees. And these are awarded each year. Each year there's 8,000 new chemical engineers coming into the field. So it is growing, but it's okay. It's below the average, but it's also an amazing field to go into because you get to constitute chemistry and biology and math and engineering, and you need to combine all of those. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. That went really fast, I know. Do you guys have any questions about anything? I'll try to answer them. Oh, somebody left. Okay. No questions. Are there any? Are you guys sure? Okay, if no one has any questions, we can end early today. These like little subspecialty sections are not going to be so long. They're only going to take about 20 to 30 minutes, like how we did today. And so yeah, so for homework, it's optional. Homework is always going to be optional in this class. You don't have to do it. You never have to do the homework. It's only for enrichment and to help you get prepared for next time. And so your homework is going to be to watch the Crash Course Mechanical Engineering video. It's just a fun little video about what it is, why you go into it, what's important about it, just basic stuff about that. And yeah, so that's all I have for you today. This presentation will be posted on Google Classroom and the recording, I think. So yeah, if no one has any questions, I'll see you guys next week.